Hello everyone. Today we will see what is Pharmacy Act, which was passed in the year 1948. The history of the act, the highlights, the objective of the act, that will be the key points which we will deal. Now first we will see what is the history. History means why this act came into existence, why government decided to put forth this act. If you remember, in the last video lecture, that is pharmaceutical legislation, we studied certain recommendations given by certain committees. So Chopra committee, if you remember, gave a recommendation that to regulate the education regarding pharmacy profession, there should be Pharmacy Council of India and State Pharmacy Council of India. In that same lecture, we have also seen during the Second World War, there was many increase in demand of the pharmaceutical preparations, generally the Ayurvedic, herbal, traditional medicines which were prepared by Indians. And due to that, there was increase in the manufacturing. Even some small scale manufacturing industries increased their manufacturing units, but it was seen that these manufacturing medicines were of not that good quality. They were of inferior quality, which harmed the health of the people. So many such cases were found by government, and at that time the government decided to regulate, to bring under the control the pharmacy profession, whereby we can control the manufacturing, sale and distribution. And it was also observed by the government that many of the people who don't even have a little knowledge about pharmacy profession were involved in the making of this medicines. So the main object or the intent, you can say, or the aim of this act was to regulate. That means to bring under the control the pharmacy profession, to raise its standard so that it will be recognized by all in India. Then the education, the requirement for education, the minimum qualification required to get into this profession. And for that, authority called as Pharmacy Council of India should be set up, and to maintain the control over the people who will be entering into this pharmacy profession. So if you see overall, by this act, government brought into existence the hold on the pharmacy profession, not only on the education but also on the manufacturer, sale and distribution, right? Because if right people with right knowledge manufacture, sale and distribute the medicines, it will not produce any harmful effect on the people or on the public. The next most important are the two peoples in the pharmacy or you can say related to the medicines, that is registered medical practitioner and registered pharmacist. Now what is medical practitioner or registered medical practitioner? A person who is having a qualification which is specified under the Indian Medical Degrees Act, or who has undergone the training as per the Medical Council of India, who has registered her name in that Medical Council of India and is carrying out this profession anywhere in India. So in common words, what we can say, medical practitioner is nothing but a physician or doctor, right? A very important person who has a knowledge about the body, about the medicines, right? So a registered medical practitioner. Next comes your registered pharmacist. So pharmacist, that means we manufacture medicines. We have a knowledge of pharmacology, right? So any person who is having this qualification of pharmacy, who has undergone the training and who has registered her name in the Pharmacy Council of India, that is in the register of Pharmacy Council of India, is called as registered pharmacist and practicing this pharmacy profession in the Indian territory. So these two people are important, which will have a good knowledge about medicines, right? Then now government put forth these rules that there should be control, right? But who will regulate this education? who will look after the rules and regulation and qualification, the syllabus, the training to be given to the people who are very much eager to take the pharmacy profession. So here comes the very important authority called as Pharmacy Council of India or Central Council of India, which was constituted in the year 1949. And every 5 years they are reconstituted. Means what? Same like our elections, after every 5 years there is a new government. Similarly here also, after every 5 years the members, they will change and we will have an entire new pharmacy council. Now what type of members are there? Elected members, nominated members and ex officio members. Right? Now elected members, as the name it indicates, these members are elected. That means by vote they are elected on that particular post, or they form the composition of the PCI. Nominated means either the government or the authorities, they will send their representative in this council. Ex officio members means what? These people are very well experienced and they were having a good post. Ex, that means they are retired now, but they are having a very well experience. For example, Director General of Health Science or the Director of the Central Drug Laboratory. So all these people are ex officio. So if you see the numbers, elected members, 6 members. They can be elected from the UGC, University Grant Commission, which is regulating the education. And they maybe 2 to 3 people are from the teaching, should be from the teaching profession. 1 member elected by Medical Council of India, 1 member elected by State Pharmacy Council. Nominated, that means the government or the authorities, AICT, UGC, they will send their own representative. So in nominated also 6 members nominated by central government, 1 representative each, 1 from UGC, 1 from AICT. AICT means All India Council of Technical Education, and 1 registered pharmacist, each from the state or from the union territory. Ex officio, either the Director General of the Health Services, or these are the people generally, the Director of Central Drug Laboratory, CDL, or the Drug Controller of India. So these people with a huge experience, right? Executive Committee. Executive, that means what? Which will execute the rules and regulation, which will bring in action. So they are the people are President of Pharmacy Council of India, are well known, respected Dr. B. Suresh, the Vice President of the Council, and 5 other members which are elected among the Council. So these 5 to 7 people, they will bring in action the rules and regulations made. So apart from Executive Committee, there are people who also help or who also work in Pharmacy Council. So there is registrar, there may be other officers also who work under the guidance of elected, nominated or executive members, right? Then one more concept under this act is Joint State Pharmacy Council. Now PCI or Central Council is at central level, right? So for each state we have State Pharmacy Council. Likewise, suppose if 2 or more than 2 states want to have one common pharmacy council, so that is called as Joint State Pharmacy Council. They enter one agreement, and on that basis there will be only one Joint State Pharmacy Council between 2 states or between more than 2 states. So in that way also the Pharmacy Council in the states work. If you see the members of this Joint State Pharmacy Council, they are similar to that of Pharmacy Council or State Pharmacy Council, that is elected members, nominated members, ex officio members. Only the numbers may change here or there, 1 or 2, that's it. Rest, the function, the responsibility, roles, all are same. Okay, that was one of the important term we can say or aspect in this, under this act. So overall, if you see, these are some of the highlights of Pharmacy Act. Apart from this, one more concept comes which is regulated by PCI, that is regarding the education, is ER, Education Regulation. That means under this education regulation, they regulate, they control, they give the standards for education for pharmacy profession in India. That is what is ER. You might have seen in various textbook, ER 91, ER 2001. So they are also amended. Amended means changed after a particular period of time. So that is also one of the concept which we should know under this Pharmacy Act. Okay, so if you see, the entire Pharmacy Act gives us the basic qualification which we need to have to practice pharmacy profession, as well as if we are well qualified, we will know the importance of quality medicines, and it will also be beneficial for the health of the people. That is what the Pharmacy Act says. Thank you.